the French Open has announced that they want to play it in September. How do you guys think that we can have some kind of a normal year going forwards? Is it better to try and cancel everything and start up again next? I mean, where is the Simona? Let's start with you. What do you think that they should be doing? Let's say in 2 months we can start playing. Should the US Open be held? Should the French be in September? What are your thoughts?
Well, if everything is safe and we are able to travel 100%, I think that the priority has to be for mandatories and Grand Slams, in my opinion. So even if they change the dates, I feel like should be as a priority for these big tournaments, because actually they keep the tour very strong. So I have the feeling that it's going to happen if everything it's okay, even if the dates are changed. My opinion.
Tommy, what's your feelings? Because obviously you're one of the biggest tournaments in the world, the 5th Grand Slam. We're calling it Wells.
Yeah, it's obviously a very good question and a very sensitive one, in my opinion, of course, because the schedule is already so packed with tournaments, on WTA and ATP's, calendar. You kept talking about, maybe shortening it somehow, losing some of the smaller tournaments that don't mean as much. But obviously for us, we were even considering and still considering the fact of maybe postponing our event, maybe sometime November or December, with the outlook of, trying to make sure the players get what they need. This is always our priority. Without the players, these tournaments are not happening. And without the players coming to the tournaments, we don't have fans, we don't have sponsors, we don't have TV media deals, and we don't have an event. So we always looking for what can we do. At the same time, there's multiple challenges that come with that. Number one is, how is the weather during that time in November, December? Well, for us in the desert, it's still quite good. It does get a little bit cooler at nighttime, but that's something, the players and we can live with. Now it's about, do we get some more sponsors again for an event in November or December in order to have the event, in order to pay the players the prize money, et cetera, et cetera. Now also, do we go up against, the NFL Football League, the basketball, baseball, even though right now it's still questionable if that's even all happening as well. Then the next question will be, how will the fans feel about the fact that maybe they come to the desert in December, but now we're asking them to come back, 10 weeks later, middle of March, to come back to the tournament when it's supposed to be. So in the overall picture, and I think for us, it makes just most sense to say, look, for us, this year was a bad year. We lost a lot of money. You can put the check mark behind 2020 and say, we are focusing and trying to do everything better or as good as this always has been for 2021. That's sort of like, the mentality of where you go. And now you're just kind of following the whole thing as well. They say no tennis till July 13th, nothing until after Wimbledon. Obviously, very sad news when we heard that. We all thought maybe we can get back to reality, sometime beginning of June, maybe start the grass court season and play Wimbledon end of July. But now, as you see where we are, and nobody really knowing what's going to be after that either. Like Boris said, if you follow the news, which I think we all do, we hear so many different opinions, a lot of different experts saying, this is what it looks like, this is what I'm hearing, maybe beginning of May, things should start getting better. Now it's maybe June, who knows when sporting events are coming back. And then the question also is, let's just say, maybe we do get back sometime August, beginning or middle of August, right? Do you then still have a tournament or two before the US Open, just the way it was? Maybe New York has recovered by then, and you do have the US Open. Right? I mean, in some ways, personally, I think it would be great if nobody plays any tournaments, have no lead-up tournament, everybody plays the US Open right away. Go to the humidity, start in New York, let's see who is the toughest of the fittest, at that current time, right? I mean, best of 5 for the men, even for the ladies, nobody has played. Let's go. Let's just go. And then follow maybe that sort of schedule again. If Asia has recovered, which they say it has, maybe it'll come back, maybe it won't come back. But then you usually have the Asian swing. Then you go to the fall in Europe again indoors. And then maybe you think about bringing in some other tournaments at the end of the year. But again, I find that very, very hard to do. Now, the French, I think when we heard the French doing this, putting it end of September, I was very surprised. And I thought it was quite ballsy for the French Tennis Federation to do so. Because, I think nobody really knew that they were going to take this press statement out and say, we're going up against this and this time. And again, I'm not with the French Tennis Federation. I'm not sure what's going on. Again, you hear a lot of stories that they haven't been able to finish the stadium, Philippe Chatrier, because of the, coronavirus right now. So it gives them some time, maybe in the summertime, to finish it all. And they have the tournament end of September. Maybe they would take a big hit if they can't have the French Open going on this year. Financially, that would be bad. I don't know. There's so many things behind the scenes that sometimes we do not know, that we do not see, that you have to take all into consideration.
Yeah, Mats, you have maybe the most important question in tennis right now. You're asking the ATP, the WTA, the ITF to work together. They haven't done that since tennis existed. Now they have to work together. And then you have the men's tour and the women's tour. So you're asking the impossible, but there's no other choice, Thomas, you're one of the lucky ones. You're one of the biggest tournaments in the world. Most tournaments will not survive this crisis. Whether they're small or big, I don't know. Whether you can measure what's small or big. Certainly the Grand Slams will survive, and certainly the Master Series will survive. But all the others are struggling. Now, rescheduling I call it an impossibility. When I first heard the French Open come the week after the US Open finishes, my first thought is Rafael Nadal. What is he doing? Is he skipping the Open to play the French? I'm thinking Roger Federer. He wants to have it the 21st major. I'm thinking Djoko. They're asking to do something that's impossible. And last but not least, there's a thing called the Davis Cup Final Madrid at the end of November. So I think that is going to be the million-dollar question once sport is able to come back. Scheduling wise, who will benefit, who will be first, and who will disappear.
So Boris, you're saying that it's better to cancel everything this year and to start in 2021?
No. I'm saying, it's the moment it's healthy to go out and go about your job. That's the first question, right? Once that is secure, the WTA, the ATP, the ITF have to put themselves in one room. Exactly. Until there's white smoke coming out and saying, okay, what are we going to do next? Which tournaments have to come back first? Do we go about the schedule as was supposed to be? And which tournaments that were supposed to happen in March, in April, and May should come back in September, October, or November? Now, that is such a difficult answer. Because everybody thinks of themselves naturally. And everybody that was supposed to happen in October, all the tournaments, they'd say, no, it's our turn now. And then all the other tournaments are going to say, well, what about us? So this is going to be the million-dollar question, in my opinion.
Yeah, they have to come all together and talk.
Yeah,
that's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, you are correct, Boris. We haven't had that for a long time. Well, of course, we have the self-appointed tennis commissioner, John McEnroe. He would be perfect in this situation. But maybe having the French Open in September is a good chance for the French to have a French winner, because no one else will show up. Anyway, I hope no one is listening. So Simona, I know that you answered this question, but how much are you involved with other players, and how much do you know what the other women are feeling, and do you have an idea of what other players are you interested in starting to be part of, talking to the WTA and what you think, and if they come to you, would you be open to, hey, we want to know? Because Tommy, you hit the nail on the head. Without the players, we have absolutely nothing. And I think we sometimes forget that. Even though we are players, we don't hear it enough. Without the players, there is nothing going on. So Simona, would you be interested if somebody come and ask you?
Yeah, but we, the players, if we don't have the tournaments, we are nothing also. So I think it's 50-50 there. Actually, yeah, I can get involved in this. I'm open to it, but it's too sensitive, and I don't feel like I have the power and the vision to say something about these decisions. Are too big, and it's tough to take the responsibility for everyone. So if there is gonna be a group of players, for sure I'm gonna get involved, and I will say my opinions. But it's tough about this situation with the health. in the world. So if it's about a tournament or a date, yeah, but you never know how when it's gonna be safe to travel again, and you never know how it's gonna be good for everybody. So I feel like the leaders of this tennis tour, they have to come together and also to ask the players, because in my opinion we have a good word, because we have to play, and they have to decide what is best for everybody, not just for the tournaments or for the players. So in my opinion,
No, go ahead, keep finishing, sorry.
No, I wanted to say that if this year it's possible to play some tournaments, it's gonna be great. Even if the dates will be changed pretty much, and even if we will have clay or hard or grass, I know it's impossible to have it anymore. But I feel like if we stay 1 year without a tournament, it's gonna be much harder to start again next year.
Yeah, I'm in total agreement with you, Simona. Whenever government allows to travel and allows to play tennis again, we should play tennis. Whether that's in August or in September, it doesn't matter. To lose a year completely like that is no good for nobody. But then, Mats, you had a question. The players, there's different groups of players. I mean, Simona is a multiple Grand Slam champion, #1 player in the world. So you have a different agenda than number 75 in the world. Number 75 in the world needs to play every week for that paycheck you mentioned earlier, Mats. On the men's side,
that's what I said. Yeah,
you have Djokovic, Federer, and Nadal. They're on a different planet than all the rest of the players. Everybody else, they still need to play every week, every other week. Now, that's why it's difficult to combine all the players, because you have different agendas.
Exactly.
I mean, they have to get together. I mean, literally, like you said, the ATP, the WTA, and the ITF. So again, this could be a significant moment in professional tennis, or they have to use it for that. I mean, how does the French Open go out and give us a date? That sounds to me like they're not talking to anybody. In no tournament, they just go and say, we're going to play here, and that's it. It's shocking. Tommy, you're in this room, so to speak. I mean, how surprised were you when somebody comes out and definitely gives you a date?
Yeah, no, again, I think it was quite ballsy from the French Tennis Federation and the French Open to do that, without really consulting or talking to people. And maybe they were talking, maybe the Grand Slams did have a phone call, and they did it anyway. You know how it is, everybody is competitive. And if you look at it, maybe by that time, there's a chance that everything will be back to normal. And there is a chance that they will have the French Open. And there is a chance that you can still have it very much at this certain date in Paris, where the weather might still be fine. And I'm sure all the players and the people around the world, the tennis fans, would love to see the French Open, even if it is end of September. And the players are going to go there. And I think for the players in general, like Boris just mentioned, everybody will show up because, again, it's a big prize money tournament. So even the first round for a player that's 90 in the world, or people that are qualifying for the event, it's big money, it's big points. So they will play. Ideally, ideally you start, like I said, maybe sometime in August. Maybe you have the US Open end of August. You take a few week break, you go to Europe, you play on clay, and then you play the French Open. Now we're talking again about what Boris also mentioned. You're talking about 2 ITF events, 2 Grand Slams. What about all the other tournaments like Madrid, like Rome on clay? Yeah. Even our event, right? Indian Wells, Miami, the 2 Masters 1000s that are maybe going to happen also at the end of the year if you can postpone them. Again, that's all a very, very big if. It's going to be very, very hard to do here in the US, just to let you know. But what about Madrid and Rome? They can play middle or end of September. Are they going to say, I mean, we all know Mr. Ion Tiriac, Boris better than anyone. He doesn't care what the ITF might do or the French Open. He might say, well, I'm going to tournament going up against the French Open then, and maybe who else? And maybe some players come to play this event and think, hey, I can maybe win the Masters 1000 in Madrid. So what about? It's a combined event, so how do you even fathom these conversations? Imagine all those egos in one room, and now you say, okay, as a player, you say, well, you know what? And then you're gonna have the argument of saying, hey guys, it's your ATP tour. Hey guys, it's your WTA tour. Support us. And it's the ITF is really not, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not the players' tour in that sense. Yeah. So of course it's the Grand Slams. Of course it's the tournaments that we all want to win. But at the same time, you have to support your own tour. So how do you go to a player in that sense and say, well, you make a choice now where you want to go and play? So very, very difficult, very, very hard to I mean, very, very interesting, by the way, to be in that room and have these conversations. I tell you that. At the same time, it's almost like you said, it's almost going to be impossible to figure it out.
What about, we haven't talked about, you know, arguably the greatest of all time. He's got a little tournament called the Laver Cup. And his buddy, Rafa and Novak and all the top guys wanted to show up to play the end of September in America, I believe, right? Now, they haven't called him saying, you know, we have to go to Paris, we have to play the French Open. So, you know, there's so many big question marks about the scheduling. This would be a nightmare. And everybody naturally looks after their own interest. They look after their own you know, tournament and hopefully be able to schedule it at some time. But this is going to be so difficult because everybody, but maybe, as you said, maybe it's a big chance for the tennis community for once to come together, because this goddamn crisis, COVID-19, affects us all. And you know, we are the lucky ones. We still have a job and our life continues, but so many lives. Hello, is that your little girl?
So that is my girl. She just woke up. Yeah, sorry.
Hola, good morning. Good morning.
Hello,
How
good
are
morning.
you?
Yeah, the Boris Mats Wilander. Yeah, just sorry.
Yeah.
Hi.
No, so I think maybe I mean the world as we know it is over. This virus has taken away from us. This doesn't have a country, doesn't have a passport. Everybody will be affected or is affected right now. So maybe it's an opportunity for the ATP, the WTA, and the ITF to come together and say, we got to save tennis. We got to save tennis. We got to save the scheduling. Let's go over which tournaments are most important. And I'm with you, Simona. I would say the Grand Slams and the Masters. They are priority. They are the backbone of our sport. And once we know, you know, geographic, I mean, you can always play in the desert pretty much throughout in the year. But you can't play outdoors in Rome, in Spain, once it's November, December. So you have to go according to the weather and where each tournament is located. But I think, you know, that's the key. We got to have some smart people in the room and deciding how to save tennis.
Yeah, but Grand Slams and the Masters are the priority for the top 100, let's say. Yeah. But for the rest of the players, because they cannot get into these tournaments, it's going to be tough. So they have to think also for the others from 100 up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the leaders have to discuss, not getting involved the players, because everyone will say the own opinion, and it's different, my opinion, than 120.
And certainly, certainly don't make a quick decision about a new date. You know, it came from the side that the French Open decided to announce that date. I don't think they really considered the whole of the sketch. They were looking after themselves, like normally most other tournaments would do. But that's the wrong way. You have to come together and find the best possible scenario for most tournaments, if that's possible.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I couldn't agree. It's a big problem. We have bigger problems, obviously, with the coronavirus pandemic. So we're going to let you guys go. Simona, first of all, thank you so much for being part of the Legends podcast here on Eurosport. Hope to see you again next time, hopefully on the courts. Where that is, we don't know. So good luck in your off season. Good luck with everything, but more importantly, good luck with your life and health. And please stay safe. From all of us at Eurosport. Tommy, thank you so much. Now I see what you're saying. Didn't get enough sleep. You have a good time to get back to get some good rest. Good thing your daughter looks like her mom. I just wanted to throw that out. Very pretty.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you guys. It was a lot of fun. Good seeing you guys. Stay healthy, stay safe, and look forward to the next one, possibly.
Excellent. Super.
Thank you.
Yeah, stay safe.
Tommy,
thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Boris, my friend.
Yes,
it was nice to see you. And we will hopefully do this again. Maybe next week, but in not too long a distant future, we will definitely try and do this again. Hopefully, we can get a couple of other superstars to join.
Yeah, we're working on that. Yeah.
So, last word for you, Boris.
No, I'm a little jealous that you're out in the woods. You can ski, you can play tennis, you can go for walks. When you're stuck in London, believe me, no such thing. We have to be very creative in our day's routine. Yes, you can walk the park. That's the highlight of the day. When can you do your one walk of the park? That's it. Everything else is closed. Imagine. There's no club open, no gym open, no swim open. There's no mountains in London. You can't go on the river. Everything is closed. So you got to stay sane, most importantly, you know?
Yeah. Can't imagine. Living here, I couldn't imagine, but obviously I do. So yeah, well, Boris, thank you so much. Nice to see you, my friend.
Yes, yes.
We will be in touch, and for everybody that has been listening, thank you for supporting Eurosport. We are still here. There is a game called tennis out there, and hopefully we get on those courts as soon as possible. But in the meantime, stay safe, stay home, and try to enjoy your family and friends. See you guys later. Boris, thank you, my friend.
Bye-bye, Mats.